What's up, Sports Wars? It's Jeremy coming to you with another live stream. And today, from his radicalized cave somewhere in Texas, we have Ryan. What's up, Ryan?
I prefer to call it a bunker. That sounds more badass. Sounds more badass and less terroristy. At least less foreign terrorist than a cave. But yeah, I'm on location. That's why I haven't been doing as much stuff the past few days. But I am indeed on location in Texas, where you just not wear a mask and people don't look at you like you're a fucking freak like they do in California. So it's good to be here. Of course, Jeremy, he's having to run these streams and he's like, I don't understand what's happening. My signal's not good. I'm gonna set it for fucking 11 p.m.
My fucking internet's all fucked up right now. Like, that's fucking damn it.
That's no excuse for setting the stream 12 hours.
Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? I didn't show fucking porn on a live stream like you did, okay?
You're saying it like it's a bad thing.
I am on YouTube, yes. Yes.
And I got away with it.
You got away with it. We clipped that shit real quick. But yeah, my internet is shit right now, so I don't even know if I can be on camera. It looks to me like it's freezing up on the stream when I was watching it back. So
yeah, you are. It's not like the worst thing in the world. It's funny because it's not even blurry. It's like good quality, and then it just freezes for a second or two, and it picks back up. So
maybe it's my camera.
We'll get a lot of clips. We'll get a lot of clips of you if you freeze like that.
Yeah, it's aggravating. Fucking technology, but whatever. We're here. We're here to talk about a lot of shit going on. Everything from Stephen A. Smith to Kwame Brown to LeBron continuing to be a bitch. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to go off camera. It's just freezing up like crazy. But anyway, so LeBron running his mouth, he gets a cop fired, and then now he's trying to pretend that he has PTSD. I don't even know that story. So I think we should get right into that one right now because I didn't know that story. So tell me what's going on.
Oh yeah, so we can do that. So on The Shop, on LeBron James' stupid fucking show that no one gives a fuck about, The Shop, He talked about his time in the bubble. He was kind of shitting on Orlando. Now, I don't mind shitting on other cities. I do it to Cleveland all the time. Cleveland, go fuck yourself. But LeBron James, in it, he said, I had PTSD from the NBA bubble. Now, I think it was a little bit of joking, a little bit of things like this. But the very idea that LeBron James would even joke about that, ironically, on Memorial Day weekend is laughable. That this dude, who is a billionaire at this point, there's no doubt, is literally talking about having PTSD from having to stay in a luxury hotel and play basketball for 2 or 3 months. I think I have that. I can share it here.
What a piece of garbage, man! He's such a fucking piece of shit. And the fact that people just there are people out there that are so blind to it, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Are you sharing? I can't see it. So
yeah.
I'm on my fucking laptop, so I only have one screen like a goddamn peasant.
Oh, what a awful loser. What a loser.
It's the worst. All right, here we go. Sorry, Orlando. It's nothing personal. Fucking crown emoji. What a bitch.
I don't want to visit her.
No.
He moved it.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason I haven't taken my daughter to Disney World. I had to go to the, you guys understand, anytime I hear Orlando right now, I get PTSD. I was in a bubble.
Wait, so Orlando has no chance of free agency?
They have no chance.
What if you get traded to Orlando?
I'm not going.
I'm just retiring.
It's over. It's over. Yeah, LeBron has been traded to Orlando. LeBron lives in Malibu. He's not going.
So it was that PTSD line that actually drew a response from the Orlando mayor. I'm certain you didn't experience the other half of Orlando during your time in the bubble last summer at King James. Next time you're here, let's go out for lunch. What a cuck. You'll see that our community is diverse, inclusive, and vibrant. I would fucking recall this bitch right now, Mayor Buddy Dyer. You look like a cuck and you're cucking to Chinese LeBron James. Fucking Beijing LeBron. What a bitch. But that's what people are talking about with this LeBron nonsense.
Yeah, and why do people call me while I'm live? And every time I go on camera, it drops my connection, so I'm gonna have to go back. Anyway, why the fuck do people call me while I'm live? Every fucking time I'm live, motherfuckers that are part of this team call me. Turn your goddamn notifications on, and you'll know that I'm live. I'm the fucking reason you motherfuckers are here, and you motherfuckers can't even keep up with me. God damn it. Anyway, fuck.
Now I just want to know who.
Time.
Now I just want to know who it was.
I'll tell you later. Anyway, okay, now back to the point at hand. Now again, in isolation, and let's be real. Okay, let's be clear. I don't care that LeBron James said that in isolation. In isolation, but LeBron James is the queen of being offended over shit that he shouldn't be offended over. He pushes this victim narrative bullshit. He pushes all of this shit. So now he has to be held to the standard that he created. So therefore, he continues to show his hypocrisy. And there's a Matrix right there. Sorry, guys, I meant to tell you I had a birthday party to go to. Sorry, can't make the show. Motherfucker, it needs to be $50 if you're not here. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, John. I'm kidding. But yeah, Drunk 3PO says I try not to call him the boss, but it wasn't Drunk 3PO. It wasn't Jay. it wasn't My Nerdy Home. Okay. But yeah, so that's really what it comes down to. So all the times we call out this stuff, at least for me, a lot of this is me just calling out the hypocrisy. Brie Larson, when Brie Larson says the shit she says, she couldn't say that about any other race or gender. So when I call her out on her bullshit, it's because of the hypocrisy, not because I'm necessarily offended. I'm not offended by what LeBron says. I'm offended the fact that LeBron James says horrible shit all the time and then plays the victim when it fits his narrative, flops on the fucking court, creates fake hate crimes. That's what pisses me off. The Greg for $5. No Uche again. Guess every Sunday stream is like the Jags around playoff time. MIA. Hashtag where is Uche? Fire Chip Kelly. Uche is always on our Mario Kart streams. Always. But Uche's actually been getting his channel's been getting some traction. He's been talking about the Kwame Brown stuff and so getting some good takes out there. Heath Nation, NBA, nobody attends. Absolutely. And like as far as LeBron goes, so let's talk about the situation with the cop. So Nate Sylvester, the cop that made the TikTok video where he was joking about LeBron, it went viral. And then obviously he got suspended. And then after he was suspended, he comes back to work. Huge GoFundMe was started. I think they raised like over $500,000 on the GoFundMe. I think he got a book deal. And then eventually he was fired. I don't think they gave specific reasons why he was fired, but they tried to act like it wasn't for the obvious reason as to why he was fired.
Yeah, I think I've talked about it before that I have almost no doubts there's probably something in there about like social media activity while in uniform probably needs to be approved. That's the way a lot of these things are and a lot of these organizations are. So that's probably what they use. But we all know that if he had done a video telling everybody to get the jab, or if he had done a video praising the administration or something like that, no one would have any problem with it. The man would still have his job. But he criticized the one person who you are not allowed to criticize in sports, and that's LeBron James. And for that, he's now lost his job. But like you said, he's very well known now. He's got a lot of things going his way. He has a lot of, he said he has a fucking book deal. I didn't even hear about that. Not sure what he's going to look about. But yeah, there you go. So he's going to turn out just fine. But it's yet another example of this hypocrisy, this double standard that you're talking about.
Yep, absolutely. And I see Drunk 3PO says, I'm done with LaBaby. It took you long enough. You long enough.
You really, that's like selling your stock when it's about to hit an all-time low.
Yeah, I know. Oh man,
it's because the Orlando diss. That's why
it is. So he can diss cops, he can diss white people, he can diss literally everyone. That's no big deal. But the moment he says something bad about Orlando, it's over.
Drunk's like, you're not taking your kid to Disney World. You're fucking dead to me.
Oh shit, that was good. We love you, Drunk.
I sent Jay a video of me at SeaWorld San Antonio that he's gonna figure out what exactly he wants to put up and what he's allowed to put up on Park Hoppin'. So that should be fun.
Eli Saul 17 says LeBron James is as soft as Cottonelle toilet paper. LeBron be watching too much CNN. Judge Joe Brown preaching on that Kwame vid. Absolutely. And we will get into that in just a moment. The Indy 500 starts in a moment. Yeah, I used to be a mega race fan. I never was much into the Indy cars as much as I was. So I was into NASCAR and Formula One. But I don't follow it like I used to, but I tend to like lean more Indy now than NASCAR. NASCAR is absolute trash after the Bubba Smollett nonsense.
I don't know anything about it. I do just know as like someone who's from Indiana and spent the first, 22 years of my life in Indiana. Indy 500 was just like, it didn't matter if you followed it or not. Everybody had it on. Everybody was having a party watching the Indy 500, even if you knew nothing about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Vasidius for $99.99.
Vasidius,
massive supporter of so many of us. Thank you, Vasidius, for the rock on emoji, dude. Man, you are fucking awesome. We do appreciate you. You were supportive yesterday on my Geeks and Gamers live stream. Yeah, man, just nothing but love, brother. Nothing but love. That is
absolutely
awesome.
He's loving locals too. He's loving your community or Geeks and Gamers community, my community. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah, 100%. You know, we're loving locals over there. For all of our premium members on the website, we actually implemented a new email system that I'm going to be rolling out probably today or tomorrow for all of you. So you'll see a new formatted email. I think it's going to be far more efficient as well. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, between locals and the premium membership, it's great for everything we have going on. Mr. Tito says, do both of you see opportunity to rapidly expand the Sports Wars brand now that Clay Travis will probably do less with Outkick? It's actually a good question. It's a good question. Go ahead, Brian.
I'll say that I don't think Clay Travis is really going to do less with Outkick. I think that they're just going to expand what they're already doing. And I think from the way he's been talking, and I know a lot of people aren't happy about it, and I definitely understand why you're not happy about it. I heard an interview between him and I think you watched the same one, Dave Portnoy, with Barstool. And he talked about how like his plan, at least for now, this is before the Rush Limbaugh radio spot got announced, but was to continue doing the exact same thing. He's basically has like a 5-year obligation, I believe, where he has to continue doing exactly what he's doing now as far as the amount of content he's producing and things like that. So, but definitely there's a lot of people that aren't happy with that move. And, you know, we're going to keep doing the same exact thing we've been doing. We're starting to up the website and how much we put out on geeksandgamers.com. So I think that can be really key to what we're doing in the future because outkick.com is so big.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, obviously Sports Wars is our sports network connected to our bigger network, which is Geeks and Gamers, geeksandgamers.com. And yes, I mean, I said this a long time ago. I said this before I really decided to back off of other projects and focus on Sports Wars. I was on a live stream on Geeks and Gamers, and I said, of everything in the geek world that we cover and all that, like, I don't feel I'm an expert on anything. I know a little about a lot in the geek world. When it comes to sports, that's my true passion. It always has been my true passion. I love sports. I love arguing. I love debating. You know, if it's knowledge if I have knowledge on anything, it's sports. And I said, if I ever focused on Sports Wars and put the attention to Sports Wars that I did the main Geeks and Gamers channel, I felt Sports Wars could, you know, probably be bigger than the main Geeks and Gamers channel at some point. And that was before Ryan came on the team. And Ryan is just another version of me in a lot of ways, except that he put that focus that I didn't have time to into Sports Wars. He's more responsible for the growth of Sports Wars than I am. And so I think Sports Wars has a massive future ahead of it. But again, it's all part of Geeks and Gamers. All of this is part of it. So we're really excited for the future of Sports Wars. We're talking about doing some stuff with fantasy football and DraftKings this upcoming NFL season. We're going to continue to call out the bullshit. We're going to continue to just let you guys know how we feel about what's going on. And I think that there's a huge opportunity in the market for people that are just selling it like it is, you know, in the sports world. So we're going to continue doing what we do, no doubt about that. And congratulations to Clay Travis. I'm happy for Clay. I've been a fan of Clay for a long time. It's nice to see him succeed and, continue to build up Outkick, and we wish him nothing but the best of luck. Mick Walsh, La China shames sipping too many soy lattes. Yeah, I mean, he's such a bitch. He really is. Roger H for a super sticker, $1.99. Thank you, Roger H, as always. Damn, jumped on me. Pie Guy 07, when are you getting an intro for your live streams? Pretty sure Perry Chan can cook something up. You guys are awesome. Yeah, we have discussed something like that. I think Steph might be the person to make the Geeks and Gamers intro. She's good at that stuff.
I mean, she is good at that stuff.
Yeah.
She's the one who actually edited my SeaWorld video because I couldn't stand experiencing a theme park twice. So she actually did all the editing for that, which was really nice.
Heroic Avenger 96 says Kyrie vilifying Boston fans blew up in his face spectacularly Friday, and I hope it happens again today. What happened there, Ryan?
Kyrie was just like, obviously Kyrie didn't have the easiest run in Boston. I don't think people really feel too good about the way he left or the way he played while he was there. So he talked a little bit about Boston. He was like, I really hope that everyone could just focus on basketball, whatever like that. So there were some people upset. And of course, the Nets ended up dropping one in Boston. That series is at 2-1 now. So NBA playoffs are interesting. They're interesting the way that some of these things are going. When you look at the Memphis Jazz series, you look at the fact that Mike Conley had to kind of put on a show to beat the 8-seed Memphis Grizzlies. I think that was last night. And it's got to be weird for Mike Conley, a dude who was the guy in Memphis for years. And everyone talking, oh, Mike Conley, Memphis. For him to have moved on, and now Ja Morant has them playing fucking great, basically just replaced Mike Conley. It's got to feel weird for Mike Conley. So it's the NBA playoffs are interesting for sure this year. A lot of games, a lot of series that you weren't quite sure were going to go this way that are becoming more interesting than they probably should be. So
yeah, Kyrie's just a weird cat, man. He always has been. So
he learned from the best. He learned from the best.
I heard that. Okay, so you told me you haven't really watched the Judge Joe Brown, Kwame Brown video.
No, I haven't. I saw they were doing a live stream. I tuned in for a couple minutes of it, but I really didn't have time.
Dude, listen, that's some of the most red-pilled shit you will hear on 2021 YouTube. Holy hell, Judge Joe Brown went hard in the fucking paint. Holy shit, dude. I mean, I only listened to the first 20 or 30 minutes of it. It's about a two and a half hour, show. But Judge Joe Brown was dropping some fucking like ridiculous red pills. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Yes, that stream was legendary. It was insane, man. I mean, people kept telling me about it, so I was like, well, let me check this out. Holy shit, man. And I don't know what's gonna happen because Kwame is just like blowing up. So we had the whole Stephen A situation where Stephen A decided to respond to Kwame Brown after, so many times of Kwame calling him out, because obviously Stephen A's been, talking shit about him for 20 years. And again, some of that's justified. Of course, that's Stephen A's job. I kind of get that. But Stephen A, to me, took it way too far and just continued to, he's done this for a long time. He just finds certain people that he just makes his punching bag. And Kwame Brown just got fed up with it. So he started calling him out, calling a lot of people out. And Stephen A tried to respond. And I got to say that response was embarrassing as fuck. Have you watched Stephen A's response, Ryan?
Yeah, I have. And he lost as soon as he acknowledged it.
Yes.
He lost as soon as he acknowledged it, because that shows that it bothered him in some way, that it got his attention. And even when we first started talking about this, Stephen A. Smith said, I'm not gonna even respond to something like this. And then he proceeded to quote tweet 3 people who were asking him to talk about it, about why he was not going to talk about it. He would have just fucking ignored it. And now I think probably what he's trying to do is probably trying to use it to garner ratings. And that's what these people are completely fake. When you watch First Take and you watch Stephen A. Smith and Max, they're completely fake. They are going to argue about something just to argue. They're going to take different positions intentionally. So I think that's what he was trying to do, was trying to get attention, but it just did not work out, because the reason so many people are listening to Kwame is because of the way the mainstream media has treated him. So for then you to go and treat him the same way he's been claiming he's been treated, that was not the fucking secret to success right there.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Stephen A responded, because it just exposed Stephen A as the clown he is. So Stephen A on one hand will say that Steve Nash and Tim Tebow are a result of white privilege, but then he also will say that Kwame Brown can't play a lick of basketball, yet Kwame was in the league for 12 years and made $60-70 million. And it's just like, it just shows the hypocrisy in what Stephen A is all about. I used to like Stephen A Smith. I really did. I used to like him. I used to be a fan of him, but it seems like in recent years, the way his takes on things and the identity politics stuff is just ridiculous. Like, how do you say that there's white privilege yet Marvin Lewis was in Cincinnati for how long?
Fucking way too long. Way too long to win a fucking playoff game.
But if Marvin Lewis would have been white, Stephen A would have built the narrative around that.
Yeah. He was he was the second longest tenured head coach other than Belichick, I believe, in the league for quite some time, and he literally had no success. He made the playoffs a couple times and never won a playoff game.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the whole thing is just. I'm glad Stephen A responded just so it can continue to show his hypocrisy, because he's garbage. He's garbage. It's just he's fallen off so bad. These corporate puppets, they don't have any original thoughts of their own. They have no real opinions. I talked about this, and when you're in the corporate world, you don't have any power. You're only as powerful as the powers that be will allow you to be. So Stephen A presents himself like, I'm going to call everything out. No, you're not, motherfucker. You're only going to say what you're allowed to say. Disney, ESPN, and their corporate structure is only going to allow you to talk about what they approve. You can't just talk about what you want. You don't have that ability. And for him to continue to push that ridiculous kind of bravado, it's a joke. But the video is about to get ratioed. Right now, it's at 27,000 up or 28,000 up votes to 27,000 down votes. Kwame just continues to build and build and build. And like I said, if you have not seen that Judge Joe Brown stream, I would highly advise you to watch it. Judge Joe Brown, man, holy shit! I had no idea he was that fucking based. I had no idea. Like, he was talking about going back to the 60s and how soy boy mentality started in the 60s. And, like the feminization of men started back then, and devaluing masculinity and making up fake terms like toxic masculinity. Like, he was fucking going off. And I was like, holy shit. What were you going to say, Ryan?
Well, I was just going to say, like, I've been searching for a couple like clips, and I don't know how much we can.
I know we can't.
We're not black, so I don't know say what CNN actually stands for. These things about Joe Biden.
Oh man, it's so good.
Get away with it.
It's so good, dude. It's so good. Primer says F. Lagom brains for disrespecting those with PTSD. He falls and cries when someone pokes him. Also, if Lachana writes a book, it'll be 1 page long. Absolutely.
Front and back.
Yeah, he is pathetic. He really is pathetic. Smash Ball says, who do you guys root for when you watch basketball? So I've always, like, when pros, it's the same with me and pros. Like, I do cheer for the Magic, but I'm not I'm not a Magic fan like I'm an Alabama fan, okay, in college. But like, I've always followed players. Kobe was always my favorite player. Obviously Jordan growing up, but then Kobe's my all-time favorite player along with Penny Hardaway. I love Penny. And so, but ever since once Kobe retired, I've lost a lot of like direct connection with watching the NBA to have that one guy or that one central figure to kind of pull for. And like Russell Westbrook was a guy that I was like, I really like Russ, but damn, he's reckless as fuck. You know what I mean? Because Russell Westbrook kind of has that Mamba mentality, but he's also so goddamn reckless. You know what I mean?
Well, he's got the mentality of like, I can fucking do this, but he does not have the skill set to make that translate into winning. I don't think.
Right. Yeah. He's fascinating to watch. He's fascinating to watch, but he doesn't have that next level ability like someone like a Kobe or somebody that he's too reckless is the best way.
Westbrook to me, like the reason he's been able to be so successful as this triple double run is because he's going at like 110% all the fucking time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And especially in an NBA, in an 82-game NBA regular season, that's just not something you see a ton of. So I think that's one of the reasons he's been able to, you know, stack up stats, and what he's doing is insane. You know, to pass Oscar Robinson's record. Now, I will say, if that was like an actual stat that they counted back when Oscar Robertson was playing, maybe he would have been trying to do more. But yeah, he's always been interesting to watch. Never somebody that I think would ever really could ever be the best player on a team that had any level of success. Yeah, I'm a Bulls fan, so that's who I root for. They had a fucking rough year. Zach LaVine. I don't think Zach LaVine can be the best player on that team and for them to be successful either. So they got to reload a little bit. But as far as players I like watching right now in the NBA, Luka Doncic. I really like watching Luka Doncic, even though traditionally I didn't like these fucking like floppy, soft European players. Unfortunately, the American players like LeBron James are softer than anyone. So it's Luka Doncic is fun to watch out there. Definitely not the fastest, definitely can't jump the highest, but he's still able to get his looks and get past people just using his skill set.
I miss the 90s NBA and even the early 2000s. It's just it's tough to watch the NBA consistently at this point. I mean, the only NFL and college football to me are they're good. They're very good. Are they better than they were? No, because of the rule set and everything like that. But they're pretty damn good. But like most of the sports you watch, like again, I said I was a big NASCAR fan back in the day. I used to just live for NASCAR and just, you know, motorsports in general. But I mean, even F1 can't get past this bullshit with Lewis Hamilton. He's such a fucking SJW. And it's just hard sports is being dominated by a lot of nonsense. I feel the NFL is stayed out of it the best of any of these major sports, you know? Mm-hmm. Maybe that's because the NBA set the bar so low. Same with like baseball. I loved baseball growing up. I was a mega baseball fan, and in all honesty, I think I really would like to try to get back into baseball.
You should watch it. It's crazy.
Post Barry Bonds. Again, growing up, it was Bonds. It was Griffey Jr. Oral Hershiser was my first favorite baseball player. Los Angeles Dodgers. I love Oral Hershiser. Ricky Henderson. You know, I loved Ricky Henderson growing up, but yeah, I do really, baseball is something I do miss watching because baseball was such a massive part of my childhood, man. It was just so cool. Like back in the day, I remember collecting baseball cards, going out in the backyard playing baseball. I miss that shit, but yeah, good question. Thank you for the super chat. Also from B News says, love your channel and community content the team produces. Thanks. Very refreshing. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. And, you know, proud of the team, proud of, you know, just everything we have going on, whether that's the main Geeks Gamers channel, the website, Sports Wars, you know, Park Hoppin', Gaming with Geeks, the Twitch channel, which will be live tonight playing Mario Kart, and so many other things we have in the works. So thank you for the super chat, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. Frank, let's see, says, I'm so glad Kwame Brown is showing all these sports analysts for who they are and will love it. 2021 is wild. It really is, man. It's fucking crazy. And I'm just enjoying the show. I'm enjoying the show. Joel with the super sticker. Thank you, Joel. Appreciate that. I saw a couple more. This thing keeps jumping on me. Black and white. Bring back great sinners. Sinners today are hot garbage. I mean, yeah. Going back to, like I said, the 90s, 2000s, you know, you had Hakeem Olajuwon, who in my opinion is the greatest big man I've ever seen. David Robinson, Shaq, you know, Patrick Ewing. Yeah, Patrick Ewing. So
Luke Longley.
So Sean Bradley.
Oh God. George Murasan.
Yeah, George Murasan.
Washington Bullets.
But yeah, it's true. It is kind of like it was cool, like growing up, because it was like when you had a team that had a great center, it created a certain structure and a certain dynamic. And when you had someone like the Bulls that were playing like the Knicks, you know, and you had Patrick Ewing there in the middle, and Patrick Ewing's not like an all-time great center on the level of an Olajuwon or a Shaq. Okay. He's kind of like the next level below. All right. He was good. He was very good. But he's not Olajuwon or Shaq or anybody like that. Yeah. He was next level below. But when you like Bill Cartwright was the center for the Bulls, it's like
it's different.
It was always interesting for that dynamic, and we don't have that anymore. It's a shooters league now, and hand checking.
These things go in cycles, and that's exactly the thing with the defensive rules that they have. It's virtually impossible to. It would be, if you could get a dominant center like that, it could be virtually impossible to guard them. So I think it'll all cycle back around. That's what I think will happen anyway. But they've changed the rules, so now I think that everybody will adjust, and then they'll change rules back to kind of counter that. That's what you see in basically every sport. This kind of fucking cycle. Some takes longer than others, but with the analytics, I mean, the analytics are simply telling you that shooting, taking a lot of threes is more effective than having a center, put their back to the basket and post up kind of thing. So until that changes, until somebody changes the game, until someone finds a way to exploit stuff, then it's going to remain that way.
Yep. I want to highlight this comment real quick. Go ahead.
I'm sharing some screens too when you get a chance. After this one, you can do it.
All right. Yeah. Patrick, congrats on 100K, guys. I used to listen to Rome, Dan Patrick, but now Sports Wars and some Outkick. Thanks for making content. Well, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
That is fucking cool as hell. Let me get his last super chat. And I got you. Yeah. Let's see. Rhodes says, for the Penny Hardaway reference, in my opinion, the most talented player ever. Bad knees ruined it. I wouldn't say most talented player ever. Very talented, though. Very talented. Very, very bright career ahead of him. And he had a really good career. I mean, obviously having Shaq there in the early days, like that dynamic was incredible. Like that was an incredible dynamic. And unfortunately, it didn't last. But Penny Hardaway,
him and Grant Hill, two players in that era who I think injuries really changed the potential that we could have had.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Grant Hill is another one. I got a quick Grant Hill story after this. All right, go ahead.
All right, so you're talking about baseball. Like I have been watching a decent amount of baseball. We obviously had all that fucking disgusting bullshit over moving the All-Star game earlier this year. But for the most part, the play itself, the play on the field has been fucking exciting. Now, Fernando Tatis Jr., I don't know how many people know that name. The dude is a monster. If you look at his first 162 games over these past 2 years, he's on like another fucking level. The kid's only like 21 or 22 years old. This, you can see right here. What's the score? The score is 3-6. The Padres are down 3, 2 men on, down to their last out, and Tatis comes through in a massive way.
And a 1-1 to Fernando. Fernando hits one in the air down the left field line. It is headed towards the pole. It is headed onto the tracks. It's a 3-run home run.
Motherfucker hit it over everything, like 450-foot bomb. And the other view of it, I want to show you the other view, because this is why some people hate Fernando Tatis. And of course, like my laptop's fucking... Here we go. This is the other view. Watch how he pimped the fuck out of this thing. And this is something that people love about baseball now. It's something that people hate about baseball. But there's personalities, and people like Fernando Tatis Jr., they make you feel a certain way whether you fucking love him or hate him. Watch this view.
Fernando hits one in the air down the left field line. It is
I love it. I love it.
It's a 3-run home run. History in Houston for Fernando.
And he knew it was fucking gone. Obviously, he wasn't waiting to see if it went foul. He knew that shit was fucking gone.
That was awesome.
There's a lot of good stuff from Fernando Tatis coming. I shared this crazy Javi Baez video the other day where Javi Baez is a Cubs fan. I'm obviously partial to the Cubs, but he did something that we've just like never seen before. He hit to the third baseman. Actually, I'm going to pull that up too if you're looking for more super chats, Jeremy, because that was fucking hilarious.
Okay. Yeah. No problem. So you do that right now. B News says, my apologies, I'm late, but LaChina said he got PTSD in the bubble. That's disrespectful to veterans such as myself and police out there in the streets. WTF, bro. Well, yeah, I mean, and that's what it all comes down to. But LeBron doesn't respect police officers. He doesn't respect military. He doesn't respect first responders. And that's what we know about him. Look at the things he said about police officers and how disrespectful he's been. And it's just who he is. He is not, listen, I've talked about this before. Okay. And admittedly, I fell for the media narrative about LeBron being a good guy as well. I never liked LeBron, never liked him as a player, but I always was like, I hate him as a player. I think he's a bitch on the court, but he's it's a good guy off the court, because the media protected this motherfucker. He is a bad person. He's a very fucked up person. Not a good person at all. Media protected this bitch for a long time. And you're finally starting to see what he's all about. He is a piece of shit, a literal piece of shit. Okay, I'm sharing your screen now.
All right. So this was a couple days ago. I've never seen anything like this. This is a really fucking stupid move from the Pirates. But when someone does something on the field that is weird, that is unorthodox, that you don't expect, it makes your fucking brain do weird shit, especially when you're seeing the same thing day after day. So Javi Baez is up to bat. There's a man on second. There's 2 outs. Keep in mind, there's 2 outs here. So all someone has to do is step on the first base bag, and the inning is over, regardless of what this guy on second does. Watch this.
Baez hits it on the ground to third. Gonzalez. So good. Oh my goodness.
No one covered.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Javi Baez.
So it's just shit like that. Like stuff like that is like so entertaining and so interesting to me. And this guy, literally, he got pulled off the bag, but all he needed to do was go back and step on first, and it would have been over. Yeah. Or just fucking walk him all the way down and tag him. It didn't matter. Like, as long as he's out, nothing matters. But why did he do that? No one fucking knows.
That is hilarious. Holy shit. That's great.
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious.
Oh, that's awesome. That is good stuff right there. I did see that clip going around. Michael Songer says, hey guys, just want to congratulate Clay Travis on getting Rush Limbaugh's slot on the radio. Yeah, man. Like, Clay is somebody who has talked about how one of his people that he really aspired to be like, or that inspired him was Howard Stern, and outside of Howard Stern, the Rush Limbaugh time slot is probably the most prominent time slot in radio history, probably, and so for Clay to land that along with Buck Sexton, who it's weird because I've seen Buck Sexton like on Twitter, but I literally have never heard the man speak. I had to Google to just see what he's like. I'd never even heard Buck Sexton speak. I don't even know what his takes are on anything. Do you know anything about Buck Sexton?
I do not know. I don't know really anything about him.
Yeah, me either.
I've never heard him. So
but anyway, congratulations to Clay. I'm a big fan of Clay, and I'm glad that he's continuing to succeed. The Greg says my Mariners are not terrible. Guess that is good. Have fun at Chuck E. Cheese, John Matrix. We miss you. Fire Chip Kelly. Fucking Chip Kelly.
Is John really at Chuck E. Cheese? Is that what he said in the super chat?
No, just a birthday party. Just a birthday party.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Ryan's favorite topic, which is Tim Tebow.
Yeah, that's the chat's favorite topic too.
Yeah, let's talk about the great Tim Tebow because he is dominating jersey sales right now in the NFL, as he should be. And I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. So here we are. Here's a look at the top selling jerseys in the NFL right now. Top 2 is Tebow and Tebow. And then you have Justin Fields at 3 and 4 and 5.
3,
so
4,
3, 4,
and
5. Yeah. And
that's actually crazy to me.
That is pretty impressive. I mean, the Bears fan base is huge.
I was just going to say there's a massive Bears fan base. So even though like that might not be maybe the guy more people are talking about nationally, the Bears is massive. There's a lot of Mitch Trubisky jerseys. In fact, I almost bought a Mitch Trubisky jersey. I'm so glad I didn't at the end of the day. But yeah.
I would put from me being from a distance here, I would put the Bears fan base in the top 5 fan bases in the NFL. Yeah. I put it up there with the Steelers and the Cowboys. Maybe top 3. Steelers and Cowboys, I would say, is ahead of the Bears. Is there anybody else that I'm missing? Like from longevity, because
that's the Bears, thing. Like Patriot, like Patriots over the past 2 decades, there's a lot of fucking Patriots fans, but they've been winning the entire time, you know?
Right,
I think especially when you look at the Bears, the fan base compared to the success that they've had, you know, not having won since 85, not being in one since 2005, and not being too relevant in the playoffs in the decade and a half since then. It's pretty big.
Yeah. So I see some people in there, Packers, Chiefs. I wouldn't say Chiefs. The Chiefs have not been, and again, I've always been aware of the Chiefs, but I wouldn't put their fan base anywhere near the top.
There's a difference between the Buffalo Bills, right? Like they're a fucking passionate, hardcore fan base, but they're not very widespread, right? The same thing about the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs pack Arrowhead and then make a shit ton of noise, and they're dedicated as fuck. But you know, I just don't think there's been very much nationwide Chiefs fans until Patrick Mahomes started doing things a few years ago. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah. Eagles are up there for sure. Definitely would have the Eagles up there.
I lived all over the United States, and like I always consistently see random Bears gear, like just out and about. Always. I always have. Whether I've been living in New York, Virginia, South Carolina, California, like I see it everywhere, and you can't quite say the same thing about some of the other teams.
Yeah, definitely. And then you've got, you've got your Steelers, Justin Herbert, Mahomes, Rodgers. None of these are shockers, really. Brady again, Jalen. The fact that Trevor Lawrence is 14 and Tebow is 1 and 2 is hilarious to me. That is just hilarious.
How many people buying Aaron Rodgers jerseys? They know it's their last fucking chance.
Yeah, I know. It's got to be it. But Tebow being 1 and 2 is awesome. And, he's going to make the team. Do you even doubt at this point? Not based on his ability, just in general. Do you think he's not going to make the team? Of course he's going to make the fucking team.
Once they officially sign him and put him in a jersey, that he's going to make the team. Like that's kind of how I felt. Like I was wondering because he was supposed to sign the contract. You know what I mean? Because they made a bunch of noise about it, but then he didn't because they were like, oh, he's got a speaking event in Tennessee. And it just carried on for a couple days with a lot of buzz. I was wondering if maybe they were actually going to sign him. But, like, the guy, like, Urban Meyer lives in the same neighborhood as him. Like, they're fucking next-door neighbors. I just can't imagine him signing him and then cutting him, you know? Like
what do you think about the reports that Urban wants to make him a Taysom Hill type for the team?
That's what I said. I fucking said that. Yeah, I've been saying that the entire time.
But you know what that's going? He's gonna start taking snaps away from Trevor Lawrence if that happens.
Yeah, I the way I've always said it is that what I think is going to happen is that they're going to bring Tebow in there as a fucking gadget player, which is what Taysom Hill is. He's a very overpaid fucking gadget player at this point. And a lot of little goal line things to get him some jump passes and things like that. I totally think that's what they're going to do with him.
I'm so fucking excited for this. I can't fucking wait.
Well, you got to remember, Taysom, like, there was a time there when they were trying to talk up Taysom Hill when Sean Payton said he's the next Steve Young or some bullshit. But, after they brought Winston in there to be a proper backup quarterback, like Taysom Hill didn't really take like second team snaps or anything, he was just the gadget guy.
Yeah. I'm interested in it, and I'm very excited about this NFL season. I will say last season, if I didn't have the Brady to Tampa Bay dynamic, I think I would have been very much checked out of the NFL season last year based on the nonsense, the beer bug, the identity politics, the kneeling, all of that. You know what I mean? So going into the last NFL season, I wasn't very hyped for a lot of different reasons. This year, I'm pretty fucking excited because the 3 biggest stories in the NFL are all in Florida, which there's no real impact in at least the 3 biggest stories for me are in Florida. So all these stadiums are going to be packed and it's going to be rocking and rolling in the stadiums because obviously you got Brady in Tampa, you've got Tua in Miami, and you've got Tebow in Jacksonville. Those are the 3 biggest stories for me. And so all time.
Did you say Deshaun Watson?
No, I did not say Deshaun Watson. I don't care about Deshaun Watson outside of the fact that the media is just protecting him because that's what the media does. They're more upset that Tim Tebow is signing a league minimum contract to play a third string tight end than they are that Deshaun Watson has been accused of sexual assault by over 25 women.
Should we look at some of the Hall of Fame drills he's been running? We can play some of those.
Let's do
it. All right. Let's see.
Let's do it.
Let me share my screen.
Ryan's pulling his best Stephen A. Smith impression on Kwame. So,
no, I'm saying like one of the guys here said Hall of Fame right here. Are you sharing?
Uh-huh.
All right, here we go. I sense Hall of Fame. Let's watch Tebow. You just hear some of the background said, "There you go, Tim. Nice job, Tim." There you go. He fucking grabbed it like it's a fucking thing of bread. Here we go. Let's watch this. I think it's basically probably the same drill. That's the same video, just from a different angle, honestly. That might be the only one he caught. But he looks fucking massive. That's what I'm saying. I was telling Jeremy this before the stream. This motherfucker ain't going to be able to throw a ball. Like, he will literally not have the fucking flexibility in order to throw a ball. That happened to Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn from Notre Dame, he got fucking so big that it affected his throwing motion. Overdrafted, overhyped to begin with.
Like, the comments.
I can't see him.
Whoa, attaboy. Nice job, Tim. Tebow.
God. But yeah, dude looks fucking massive. I think that, like we've talked about this the whole time, you know, the idea of him just coming in and playing tight end, like legitimately playing tight end between pass protections and all these things, you know, I think we all realized that it was going to be a gadget thing. No one's actually bringing him in to be the third best tight end on the team. And you could say, well, he knew the protection schemes. No, he didn't. There's actually, I heard a funny story the other day from Rob Ninkovich, who used to play for the Patriots, Purdue Boilermaker as well. When they brought Tebow in to the Patriots, like we've talked about that before, and he had the opportunity to see what he could do with the Patriots. In 7-on-7 drills, which the point of 7-on-7 drills is you don't have anyone rushing. You just have people in pass coverage, all these things. You know, you have your skill position players. You have your 7 on defense that aren't your 4 linemen. No rush. Tebow would scramble. When they brought him into New England to do those drills, Tebow just like started running out of the pocket. Everyone's like, where are you going? Because that is supposed to be where you're working through progressions and getting timing down. And Tebow would run. So, you know, we'll see what happens. I don't think the Jags will be very relevant this year other than that.
He'll be QB1 halfway through the season.
Dude.
So, yep.
Again, he's not going to be QB1 unless there's some type of injury.
QB1, baby. QB1. It's happening. Trevor Lawrence and his pretty boy hair, it ain't going to last. So I'm fascinated by this whole thing. Oh, what? No.
Kwame?
Wait, no. If you're talking about, because I was watching Kwame right before we went live, I think because you're saying that his sound went out towards the end. That was just that wasn't YouTube. They don't pull the sound on your live stream. So I was watching it. He was in his car. He was on his cell phone, and he had sound issues. Yeah, everybody was like, "Oh, YouTube got him." I'm like, YouTube doesn't take the sound away from your videos. But yeah, so I'm gonna be interested.
Jason, as if he was at the New England practice. This is from Rob Ninkovich. You stupid retarded fuck. All you dumb people. You get so fucking sensitive about this shit. This is from Rob Ninkovich. He was with the Patriots for over a decade. Was there when Tebow was having these tryouts. I'm not saying I fucking watched this happen. You guys are so fucking retarded. Holy shit.
All right. Anyway, you're not, because if you're a Tebow supporter, you're on the right side of history, unlike Ryan. So I got your back, even though you're wrong on what you're saying. Because this is from Rob Ninkovich, so it's like he was there at the practice.
I was on the field. I watched it happen. Tim Tebow came up and sang choir hymns to me after.
But Ryan does have a severe case of TDS. That's Tebow derangement syndrome. Ryan has a case of that, and I'm trying to help him work through it.
I have a case of sanity where you can sit there and say Tim Tebow's a great person, but there are fucking better people than him, and that he is not a good quarterback. That's the bottom line.
Good quarterbacks don't go to the playoffs in their first year starting. On a bad team,
fucking sometimes do. Yes, Mitch Trubisky got the Bears.
Is he still? Wait a minute. Far. But again, did he fail on the field?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did, and I wish he wouldn't have.
Right.
I wish we would have looked and see what Trubisky did and realized that it wasn't sustainable and moved on before. I wish that would have happened, Jeremy.
But that doesn't happen
to the Bears quarterback.
But that doesn't happen. That never happens in the NFL. No player has.
Tebow.
Nope, exactly. He's the only one. No other player.
Peyton fucking Manning.
No other player was never allowed to continue to see if they would fail. It was presumed he would fail. Therefore, they just never gave him a chance. Even though the only chance he got, he took a team to the fucking playoffs and won a playoff game. But it was all about what they assumed would happen. No other player has ever been treated like that. Nobody. It's the bullshit of what happened with Tim Tebow.
Yeah, it sucks. He got a fucking raw deal in Denver. They brought in a Hall of Fame quarterback to replace him. He got a chance with the Jets. Didn't work out. He got another chance with the Patriots. As you could tell from Rob Ninkovich's story, that wasn't taken very seriously at all, because when they brought him in, there wasn't a lot there. He's had chances. He's had opportunities.
It's bullshit.
Okay.
It's bullshit. Tim Tebow deserved to have a starting NFL position based on what he did in Denver. Denver was a bad fucking football team. Tim Tebow took over a bad team, a terrible team, and made them a playoff team, a division winner, and he never got a chance to capitalize. That doesn't happen to people in the NFL or any sport. They all get a chance to fail on the field, except for Tebow. That's it. And so, by the way, Michael said go Browns earlier when we were talking about teams with strong fan bases. Browns have a absolutely strong fan base. I don't think that it's transcends like Chicago, because like Browns are strong. The Brown fan base is fucking passionate as fuck, no doubt, and no one's going to argue that. But I don't walk around randomly seeing Browns gear here in Florida, really. Like maybe here or there, but nothing. Like I see Bears.
I see it on the homeless people sometimes, because they hand them out at the shelters.
Yeah. So I mean, but I respect the Browns fan base, very passionate fan base. Bert, R.I.P. Harambe, gone too soon. Apes strong forever. Yeah, we were talking about Harambe on Friday Night Tights, and then Clifton says, I think I pissed off Uche on Twitter. Hope he knows I enjoy different views. By the way, Tebow is awesome. Don't take Uche's Twitter seriously, ever. So trust me, he's fine. Uche he's a troll. He likes to just talk shit and run his mouth. So don't worry about it. And Tebow is awesome. You're all right. And Ryan is wrong. And he'll get proven wrong this year.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Benjamin says, for me, MLB died with Kirby Puckett. Poor Twinkies. Haven't won a single playoff game in 25 years. Yeah, Kirby was one of the better hitters back in the day. Him and Tony Gwynn were kind of those guys that just solid, batting average, on base percentage, things like that. I really liked Kirby Puckett back in the day. I haven't heard that.
The Twins have some interesting players and some interesting talent. They've been really disappointing this year.
Yep. As a Broncos fan, Jeremy is hugely wrong and forgetting so much context. What's the context? The team was 1-4. You claimed the defense carried him. Where was the defense when they were 1-4 or 4-12 the previous year? Where was the defense? Where was this amazing defense that carried Tim Tebow? What other changes from 1-4 to 5-0 did they make? What was the other changes? They made one change. Tim Tebow went from 1-4 to 5-0 or 6. Was it 6 games in a row they won? They won one change.
I don't think they won 6 in a row. But
It was either 5 or 6.
They were 7-4, right, with him as the starter.
Yeah, but I think they won their first 6 games, and then they went on a losing. They started losing quite a few of them, but I think it was like 5. It was either 5 or 6.
That was before. So they went on a 6-game winning streak. They went on a 6-game winning streak before Tebow was there to start the season. Maybe that's the one you're thinking of.
Do what?
I said they went on a 6-game winning streak at one point, like not the year before, 2 years before Tebow started. Maybe that's the 6-game winning streak you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure they won 6 in a row. Hang on.
Was it 2012?
Yeah, that was a 2011 season. Let's see.
Yeah,
6-game winning streak. Tebow compiled an 8-5 record, including playoffs, with a 6-game win streak from weeks 9 to 14.
Yeah.
After replacing Orton. So they went from 1-4. They made one change from 1-4 to winning 6 games in a row. But you're going to tell me the defense carried him, but they couldn't carry Kyle Orton, apparently.
That style of play was simply not sustainable. In the same way that it wasn't sustainable for Colin Kaepernick, in the same way that it's not sustainable
another
for a lot
player
of
who
people.
got a chance, another player that got a chance to fail on the field.
I don't know why you keep bringing this up. Something that you should want to do is you should want to be able to identify talent on the field in a way that you can identify when things won't be successful.
Then by your logic, Tom Brady should have never started a game because he was a 6th-round draft pick that almost never got drafted at all. So let's just assume
you know what
say.
happened. You know what happened, Jeremy? Right? They took a flyer on him later in the round. They brought him into camp, right? And then what they saw in training camp, they were like, wow, this dude really has the potential to be something. And they carried.
Wait a minute.
Hey, listen to me for a second. They carried 3 quarterbacks when normally they wouldn't have, because they saw potential in Tom Brady projecting out to the future. And he worked his ass off, and he got that backup position, came in, boom, boom, boom. And what they saw on the field, they decided to not replace him with Drew Bledsoe when Bledsoe was back healthy again.
But by your logic, he should have never gotten the chance. He should have already been assumed that he can't do it based on the pre-evaluation.
No. That's not true at all. I'm saying because what they saw when they brought him in on the practice field led them to believe that he had it within him to get a lot better and project out better than they had thought when they initially drafted him. Otherwise, they would have drafted him a lot earlier, right?
I mean, I guess, but I'm just saying that
it's what they saw on the field, what they saw on the practice field, the same things that the Patriots decided not to carry Tim Tebow or have anything to do with him when he came over there to practice, right? They saw that, and they said, we think that in the future, there's a high probability for this player to be better than we ever thought. Because normally you would not carry 3 quarterbacks like they did. They decided to because they didn't want to risk the chance of someone else getting him.
But you're basically saying that that they should have already assumed it without even giving him the chance. He's a 6th-round draft pick, so he shouldn't really even get a chance at that point because
there's 7 rounds in the draft, Jeremy, and there's undrafted free agents.
The experts said so it's just like, hey, let's just assume, because that's what we're all basing this on, is assumption with Tim Tebow, not what actually happened on the field. We're just assuming it won't be sustainable.
No. You are correct that we're basing what we see on the field and we're projecting that out. Yes, that's what's happening. It's based on what you see on the field. Even with these games that he's winning, right? Even when you're winning a game where you complete 2 passes, right? You're looking at that. Wait a
minute. So I love how the goalposts change. So you're clinging to one fucking playoff win, Jeremy. He got crushed by 35 points. So now Tebow got crushed by 35 points. Where's the defense that carried him? That the defense didn't get crushed by 35 points. Suddenly Tebow got crushed by 35 points. No longer about the team anymore. It's all about the team when they're winning, but they lose to the greatest quarterback of all time. And suddenly it's about Tebow losing. But when it's the winning, Bronco fans are like, well, he got carried by the team. But when they lose, suddenly the team didn't lose. Tebow lost. You see how the goalposts change? You see how it changes? It's all about Tebow when it's a loss. But when it's about the wins, the team carried him. You see how that goes? That's how the anti-Tim Tebow crowd is. They love to shift the goalpost. Tebow didn't do anything, but when it's a big loss, suddenly it's all on him. So which is it? It's either Tebow got carried by the defense and the defense got crushed by 35, or Tebow carried that team and Tebow got crushed by 35. You can't switch when it fits your narrative. So if he got crushed by 35, that means he carried the team to 6 straight wins, a playoff win, and a divisional win. So which is it? Just asking.
There's a lot of people. I'm just, again, I don't know how many times we have to say the same fucking thing over and over again. When people looked, and I'll give you everything, Jeremy. I'll say, you know what? There's a lot of people in the Broncos organization that didn't want Tebow there. Not even from the start. They didn't want Tim Tebow there. But when you look at the way that they played those games, the way that they won some of those games, a lot of people didn't think that would be sustainable in the future. Don't you think that there were some people in that organization who may have had their minds changed about Tim Tebow that were like, wow, look at, we're winning games. Maybe this is a good thing. Look at that.
I think if Tim Tebow was a black dude that didn't preach about Christianity, that the media would not have given a single fuck, and they probably would have been praising him. That's what I think. Because Tim Tebow got mocked for his religion when he was the greatest college football player of all time. The media took shots at him then. The media was
Does that have anything to do
with
what I'm talking about? Does that have anything to do with what I'm talking about?
I'm telling you that the reason the guy didn't get a chance is because the media kept mocking him based on his morals, based on his character, based on who he was. Like they treated Robert Griffin III like you.
And that's the reason that the Patriots saw him in practice and said, nah, no thanks, we're done.
I'm telling you that Robert Griffin III is one of the most overrated fucking football players I've ever seen in my life. And that year in Washington, they treated him like he was the second coming of Joe Montana. That's how the media hyped him up.
He was overhyped, and he was playing in a way that wasn't necessarily sustainable either. But he did put up some decent numbers his rookie year. And he fucking made a playoff game where he became a complete little bitch.
Wait a minute. So, he made a playoff game? I didn't know that made you good.
What I'm saying is that some of his stuff is comparable to Tebow. That's what I'm trying to tell you right now.
But nobody was trying to say he didn't belong on the field. They were saying he was the greatest fucking player ever. Like, they were just hyping RG3 up like he was the greatest fucking thing that ever existed. Meanwhile, Tebow was treated like he was a fucking circus animal that didn't belong there. The narratives are what I'm talking about. Go back and look at how the media treated RG3 in his season versus how they treated Tebow. They treated one person like they were the greatest thing to ever exist, and the other person they treated like they were a sideshow freak that should have never even been there. The point is there was a lot of similarities. And RG3, if he wouldn't have gotten injured, RG3 would have been in the league for years. If his injury wouldn't have.
Well, he's still in the league, Jeremy.
Yeah, but he's not the player. But he has no. Yeah, he's really not. But he's not like RG3 lost any ability he had. Any abilities whatsoever after that injury. But the point is how the media treated it is my issue with it. But it is what it is. We are where we are. Tim Tebow will be a Jacksonville Jaguar. He will be QB1 at some point this year. That is my bold prediction. We'll see what happens. All right. So what else? Let me see. We got a few super chats. Let me get to them really quick. Bert, is Ryan Kennel back home again in Indiana? What is that? Why are the quotations there?
Back home again in Indiana.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Blue-Eyed Scorpio says, I never said defense carried him. Then how did they go from 4-12 the year before, 1-4 to suddenly winning 6 straight games? How did that happen? If Tebow isn't the reason, how did it happen?
Right,
that's my question.
Well, is that to Blue-Eyed Scorpio or to me? Because again, yeah. I bring it up all the time. The Derek Carr Raiders, right? The difference between when you win a lot of these like close games and kind of things just roll the right way. You don't really change anything with the team, and the next season it's completely different because in a 16-game NFL season, that's not like an 82-game season. That's not like a 162-game season where things overall will even out. You go on a little hot streak, a couple things roll your way, that's the difference in the NFL season. That is why college football in the NFL is like, that's why every regular season game matters so fucking much, because you don't have these long seasons. You can have these aberrations in the NFL. You can have these aberrations in football specifically. So, which is why I think that you can look at things and say, this is not a sustainable way to win. This is not sustainable for us for, 1 week for us to get absolutely blown out by the Lions. And the next week for the defense to come up with some big plays in key spots, for Tim Tebow, the 5 or 6 completions that he had just to be at just the right time, for fucking Matt Prater to come in and kick a 59-yard clutch field goal to kind of seal it. You can look and see the way that you're playing and say, this might not be sustainable. We should look for a different fucking option. And then Peyton Manning came along.
I mean, so am I supposed to look at Peyton Manning's first season and his 27 interceptions and say that's not sustainable?
But potentially, yeah. Potentially,
no, nobody would do that. Nobody would do that. Young quarterbacks struggle. That's every young quarterback struggles. Every one of them. That's just they all struggle.
I will say it's a much different, over this past decade, it's become much different. The expectations for young quarterbacks are much different than they were in the 90s. I that's just a reality. The idea of bringing someone in and letting them sit like they did with Aaron Rodgers is just fucking unheard of anymore. That just doesn't fucking happen.
Yeah, that's true. And well, even the Aaron Rodgers thing was kind of unheard of. I think it's just
exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of unheard of then. Okay, moving on. Well, not moving on, because Blue Eyed Scorpio says, don't put words in my mouth. I watched every snap. I could destroy you in this debate. You are delusional. I'm not going to spend money for each comment. You can't destroy me because I have facts on my side. The fact is the Broncos were and I don't want to say the worst. So if you go back to 2010 and 2011, the first 5 games of 2011 and the previous 16 games in 2010, the Broncos were one of the 3 worst teams in the NFL by their record. They may have been the worst team in the NFL over those so 16 plus, what was it, 5? So there you got 22 games. You got those games. They were the worst team in the NFL, or at least the bottom 3. One change and they win 6 games in a row. One change, 6 games in a row, and go to the playoffs, win the division, and win a playoff game. And that one change is the one thing that they get rid of. That's my argument right there. Because without Tim Tebow, Denver doesn't make the playoffs that year, and Denver doesn't win a playoff game, and Peyton Manning probably doesn't come to Denver. You think Peyton Manning's going to come to Denver after they finish the season another 4-12 after back-to-back 4-12 seasons? You really think that? No, motherfucker ain't coming to Denver.
Who were the teams he was looking at? It was the Titans, the Cardinals, and the Broncos. Is that right? Obviously, the Tennessee thing, a lot of people would say, home again, Tennessee. I don't know how they finished that year.
Cardinals had Fitzgerald, which would make a smart move for any great quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, the Broncos had weapons. You know what I mean? Like they had was Eric Decker and
Demaryius
Thomas. Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, they had weapons. So some frustrated weapons at times, but they had weapons.
It would not have been a sexy team at all. It would not have been a sexy team for anybody to look at.
You're right. Their numbers the wide receiver numbers did not look great. No,
but I'm saying take Team Tebow out of the equation. And they start out the season 1-4, and they're gonna finish 1-5. They're just gonna continue to lose. So they're probably gonna end up 4-12 again. You think Peyton Manning's really taking a serious look at a back-to-back 4-12 football team? No, he's not. Tim Tebow saved it that season and saved that franchise, and they kicked him out the door.
You're saying that he went there because I obviously wasn't going there for Tim Tebow, so he went there for all the other pieces of the puzzle other than Tim Tebow?
Well, I think much like with Brady with New England, people don't realize Belichick was on the hot seat of getting fired. People don't realize
he wasn't some lock or anything like that.
Right. And suddenly it turns into where history tries to tell us that Tom Brady walked into the greatest situation of all time. That's not the case at all. So what I'm saying is, with the Tebow narrative of people saying, "Oh, he can't play. He's the worst quarterback of all time. He's terrible. He doesn't belong there." with them making the playoffs and winning a playoff game with the quote unquote worst quarterback to ever play, it made it to where Peyton Manning.
Who said that he's the worst quarterback to ever play?
I mean, can you name a worse quarterback than Tim Tebow right now?
A worse quarterback as a starting quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could name one. I know there's someone like Brandon Hoyer, or not, is Brandon Hoyer? What's his name? The guy who's the backup in New England. Brian Hoyer.
Yeah.
I would take Brian Hoyer on my team before Tim Tebow. And he's a backup.
Right.
And I think I would feel that way with a lot of different people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The idea that he's the worst quarterback to ever play the game, I think is a little ridiculous.
Okay, you can't see me, but I'm putting quotation marks up, but based on the narrative around Tebow. So what I'm saying is there's this terrible quarterback that doesn't belong on the field, that they made the playoffs and won a playoff game. So when you're Peyton Manning and you can look at that and you look at how that structure looks, you're like, oh, fucking Tebow got him there. What the fuck can I do? You know what I mean? So it just looks like a situation that he could walk into, a very good situation with John Elway. And I think that without that Tebow run, I'm not sure he looks at the Broncos in the same way. That's all. And again, that's all.
Maybe I just think I think it's strange to make the argument that Tim Tebow is the only reason that team did anything, and then say that Tim Tebow is the reason that Peyton Manning would want to come there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, again, what other changes did they make?
Oh, they didn't make any other changes. The remaining talent that was there, and they added in Tim Tebow. And you're arguing that the remaining talent that was there, because not Tim Tebow, because Peyton Manning didn't want him there, that's what made Peyton Manning want to go to Denver. That just seems like a weird argument to make.
Yeah. I'm saying I don't think the situation looks half as attractive without the team going to the playoffs and winning a playoff game. I think that maybe. I just don't see a Peyton Manning.
I think that the rest of the team showed in certain moments that there was a lot of potential there. There may be some really fucking great players that could play key roles in different aspects. I think that's what happened, because it took a lot of things to happen the right way to get them to where they were in the course of that season. Again, from special teams play to big plays at key moments on defense. It took a lot of different things. So.
Okay. All right. Don Lee says Tim Tebow is an Asian American because he was born in the Philippines. Only a few people knows that. So technically he's a minority with white skin. All right. So, So that's we're going to wrap it up. It's been another fun Sports War stream. We got to talk bad about LeBron. We got to argue over Tim Tebow. We got to praise Kwame Brown. And again, if you have not seen that Kwame Brown, video with Judge Joe Brown, I highly urge you to watch that. Yes, Gage Tucker, you're right, but that doesn't matter. They went 1-4 with Kyle Orton and started Tim Tebow, and he led them to the playoffs and won a playoff game. Those facts don't matter. So, let me see. Seeing what everybody's saying. Oh, Darkside Droids is here. What's up, Darkside Droids?
Someone is saying, delusional Patriots fans, says, RK, do you have your own channel so I can sub to you because this guy's a clown? Yeah, I do. RK Outpost. So Ryan Kennel, RK Outpost.
Yes, I am a clown. I'm a clown that has created a channel that's making you watch it. And by the way,
sometimes things just happen. Lucky breaks is not sustainable, but Jeremy's here while he can be.
That's right. So delusional Patriots fan. What is the avatar? What is he? Is that like a sushi for the
It looks like a Dolphins, yeah. Miami Dolphins fucking cut up, yeah.
I'm okay with that. Now, delusional Patriots fan, are you of the mindset that Belichick made Brady or Brady made Belichick? Let's find out how smart you are. Let's find out how smart you are. Very curious about this one. I'm waiting, delusional Patriots fan. But yes, make sure you subscribe to RK Outpost.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, that Kyle Orton led Denver team the year before Tebow played. I'm pretty sure they started off the season with like a 5-game win streak because they were like 5-0. And then the team finished like fucking 6-10. So somehow, they were not the year before Tebow got there, but like the year before Tebow was drafted. That's the one I'm talking about.
He doesn't want to answer me. Why would I argue that? It's a fucking question, bro. It's a goddamn sports talk fucking channel. I'm asking you a fucking sports related question. It's what sports fans do. Don't be fucking a sensitive Sally and tuck your tail and run. I'm asking you. You have delusional Patriots fan in your fucking title. I'm asking you, do you think Brady made Belichick or Belichick made Brady? It's a simple fucking question. It's not that hard.
Yeah, see,
Luigi.
Sorry, yeah. So it was that 2009 Denver Broncos season. They started off 6-0, but then lost 8 of their next 10 games. So they had a good streak to start off the season. Ultimately, that wasn't a sustainable way to play. They ended up 8-8. These things happen. There are runs throughout an NFL season, and that's how. Because I remember that very specifically because the first in week 1, there was a Hail Mary that Kyle Orton threw that got fucking tipped by a defender and fell right into the hands of a Broncos wide receiver, and he ran for a touchdown to end the game. So that season really stands out to me. That was the season of the Kyle Orton Jay Cutler trade. So I was really paying a lot of attention to what both those players were doing at the time.
All right, well, beta delusional Patriots fan doesn't want to have a sports debate, so fuck him. Whatever, I'll ignore him now. Okay, Bastard Luigi, love the content, lads. As someone who has watched the Broncos since Jake Plummer, an argument I can see for Manning to Broncos is that Tebow was able to showcase the weapons on the offense. Well, first of all, love the profile pic and the Bastard Luigi. That's actually pretty fucking cool. And yeah, I mean, I do think, and again, that's all. There's no way to prove my theory about Tebow and what happened and how that helped elevate the Broncos and Peyton Manning's mind. But it's just my theory, But just to clarify, Brady did make Belichick. It's not even close. So Brady made Belichick, and I don't think that's debatable. But I'm sure there's people out there that disagree with me. Let me see. What? Brady's a system quarterback? How do people still say Brady's a system quarterback still? How like somebody's saying that? Like, jeez.
He's in a different system now. But maybe that system's just really good too.
Did Jeremy make Geeks and Gamers, or did Geeks and Gamers make Jeremy? Oh, that's a good one. I don't know. That's a good question. What do you think? What do you think, Ryan?
I would say Jeremy made Geeks and Gamers. That's what I would say. Okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm thinking about that question you said that Tim Tebow was able to highlight the offensive weapons. I mean, I don't know. Like Eric Decker, I'm looking at Eric Decker's numbers. He had 44 receptions and 600 yards. I don't know. I'd have to look at all the stats, but I don't know if that's necessarily highlighting things. I do think they showed that they could have an effective run game, that they had a decent offensive line, which is probably something that that Peyton Manning really wanted when he went there, once they ended up running the ball so much. So maybe that was part of it. I totally forgot that like Champ Bailey was still on that team. They had Champ Bailey, Elvis Dumas, and Von Miller, and Brian Dawkins, because Brian Dawkins came there before. I always forgot that Brian Dawkins went from Philly to Denver, and he was there before Peyton got there.
Yeah.
So
Clifton says, I think Ryan made Geeks and Gamers, but he's wrong about Tebow. All right, we are going to wrap this up. Again, we'll be live tonight on, unfortunately, I don't know if my camera's going to work, but we'll see what happens. But we'll be live tonight on Twitch playing Mario Kart. I will be hosting. So look forward to that.
I'm going to be playing handheld, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be, yeah, I'm freezing up. You should, yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on with my fucking camera. I may have to go back to my webcam instead of this fucking high dollar bullshit that John Matrix sent me. But other than that, you guys have a great day. I appreciate all of you. Mario Kart tonight is going to be a lot of fun. Check us out over on Geeks and Gamers, the main channel. My personal channel, D-Day Cobra, Ryan's personal channel, RK Outpost. Check us out on locals as well. Check out geeksandgamers.com, our website. Other than that, you guys have a great day.
You did get one more super chat from the Greg.
Oh, there we go.
For $5. Pats fan since 94. How can you say Brady made Bill after one season apart? So what if New England goes 19-0 and Bucks go 5-11? Does your opinion change?
Well, Greg, you've been watching the channel longer than know. Last season's not the reason I say Brady made Belichick. I've been saying that for a long time. If you just look at Belichick's record without Brady, if you look at New England before Brady took over, and if you look at New England with Bledsoe, who was an all-pro quarterback, they weren't very good. They made one change, and then they became the greatest dynasty in the history of team football. Now, I'm not saying that Belichick isn't a great coach. What I'm saying is that there is no great coach in the NFL that can sustain success for a long period of time without a great quarterback. That's just how it is. You know, there's a reason Jim Caldwell went 15-1 or 14-2 in his first year with Peyton Manning. It wasn't because Caldwell's an all-time great fucking coach.
No, it's because Peyton Manning was literally controlling him. It's like there was a little fucking robot in his head. He's just like, yeah. I mean, so it's a fucking joke.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, so for me, I've always said this. So last season only built on my argument, that argument that I've had, and I love Bill Belichick. I've always been a fan of Bill Belichick. But without Brady, Belichick is Nick Saban in Miami, and that's exactly what he was in Cleveland. Nick Saban in Miami. Nick Saban didn't have a quarterback. Nick Saban was an below average coach in the NFL. Even though we know Nick Saban is a great football coach, without a all-pro quarterback, all-time great quarterback, you're just not that. You're not going to sustain success in the NFL.
I think it's much more complicated than one or the other. I think that with someone who wasn't Belichick as that coach, maybe Brady isn't able to develop into this guy that we saw, at least not in quite the same way. And to have a guy like Brady who's so fucking hyper competitive and always looking for an edge and always having a chip on his shoulder, to then have a coach who facilitates a lot of that, you know, who is all about finding the edge and exploiting every possible rule that they can find and constantly trying to evolve as opposed to being very stuck in a certain way of thinking. You know, if that hadn't been the coach there when Tom got there, we might not have seen Tom grow into that player that we saw.
Yeah, potentially. I also look at just, you know, Bill built the culture and the environment, and there's an argument to be made. But also, when you have Tom Brady taking pay cuts after pay cuts after pay cuts, and yes, he did this before he met Giselle, so people can stop with that argument. When you have the best quarterback in the league and you're getting him you're getting him in the range of a top 15, top 20 quarterback pay, that allows you to do so much on the roster. You know, you have Aaron Rodgers taking ridiculous, paychecks. You have Russell Wilson taking ridiculous paychecks. You have Mahomes taking ridiculous paychecks. Brady's never done that. That gives you so much flexibility as the coach GM. And that's something that nobody else has had the advantage of. But anyway, that's my argument. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up. Appreciate all of you guys. We'll see you tonight live on Mario Kart. Ryan from the Radicalized, Bunker? Radicalized
Bunker. Yes.
Radicalized Bunker. And, but other than that, you guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video. And we'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.